Let's get in here. Gotta check the stream on the wonderful world of weirdness. Make sure that everything's put into the live stream section on the live streams. So give me a second. Well, first we've got to see if it's even streaming, which it looks like it is. I'm going to do an audio test. Get everything into the right playlist. Got me a new background I just finished today. What do you guys think about that? Get everything into the right. There we go. Sounds good. The audio does. Put it in the playlist. Actually, I may have one for Wprpn. Not quite sure. Nope. But I do have a live stream playlist, I'm pretty sure. Yep, live streams right there. Okay. So we've got that one going. It's been a little while since I've been able to get everything, or get one of the people on for interviews. So we have been delayed on that a little bit. So let me check everything out, make sure. Yes, thank you, Tripsville. It's good to see you in the room. Austin would really love to hook up with you and talk about music, man. So if you get a chance to get with me on a link so that I can talk to you, set up something to where you guys can hang out and talk, because he's really interesting. Shout out to Tripsville from Auckland, New Zealand. Thank you for stopping in. Tripsville. I just did a shout out for you, and I am also responding in chat. Hope you're listening. That is what I said about Austin. He's one of the guys I hear on the channel. So let's see here. I have got to focus, see what I'm doing here. If I get distracted, then I'll mess up. I have got to. Sounds good on Rumble. Sounds good on YouTube. Kick is up and running. DLive is not up and running, it looks like. Let me see what's happening there. It should be up and running according to Rumble Studios. See what Go Live does. Okay, there we go. It is up. It's just I was on Jeffy's channel. Not paying attention, I guess. The weird part about it is I finally got DK's channel back. I got the Great Conspiracy and Dragus's back too on D Live, to where it shows when they're live, but I still haven't got Jaffe's back yet. It's really, really weird. I have to go to the followers and then click on his Wprpn in order to freaking get it to come in. So it's interesting. And he is probably setting up right now. So I may say set up and ready to go in D Live, because that's where I pull his audio from. I will be simulcasting on Rumble, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. I believe that's all of them. And D Live, of course. Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and D Live. So whenever anything happens, we will have it up and going. That was pretty cool. I haven't heard from Tripsville in almost a year. Bob Dub reached out to him the last time, and they have some really, really cool music. If you guys get a chance to check them out, check them out. They do have some cool stuff. Austin was real impressed. He wanted to hook up and do some projects or something with them if they were willing to do it. So some cool stuff. All right, so with that being done, I'm gonna find 15 minutes of content. Do this actually. Switch this. I'm going to switch my background for the matrix. I really should make a folder for all of this. I don't know why I don't. I'll put it right next to well, boy, what did I do? Hmm. filters, that's what it is. Come in here and do color correction. Lower the opacity. There we go. Properties, no. Come in here and do the same. Got to change it all back. It's like they did it before. Now, tell you one thing, man, this stuff has been really interesting for me in the last or a little bit, coming up with some cool concepts on Blender. So I'm putting it to work. Go. That's actually better. Switched it around. Yeah. All right. That one should probably be in front, though, the smaller one. That above. And voila. We've got it. Let's see if he's on yet. There he is. Okay, so I'm muting out, and we should be ready.
Sharing, remembering to hit subscription notification buttons. Always appreciated, along with, of course, let's not forget passing word along to friends, family, and co-workers. So, having said that, yeah, let's get to the bio information, shall we? Look who's back. Talking all things AI and much more. It's New Orleans-based magician and mentalist Paul David Carpenter. Since his earliest childhood, Carpenter has toured multiple countries and regions of the world, performing magic and hypnotism to fully enthralled audiences of all ages. As he himself writes, we all mentally hypnotize ourselves to believe one thing or another. It is what creates our perception. Believe you are mentally hip? Because I do. Of course, it's been a while since we last spoke, so there'll clearly be a lot to catch up on. We've also got Sonia Galactic here with us. So, oh, hang on. There's a little more to add to the introductory remarks we just stumbled upon. Along with the world of professional magic, we've more broadly covered everything from pop culture and censorship in social media to the state of both American politics and ongoing genocide in Gaza. Another hot item where last year Paul actually helped make world news dealt with his role in the whole phony East Coast based Joe Biden AI primary elections robocall scandal. While we're likely to revisit any of these earlier items, it's his latest projects, including all adventurous and cutting edge things AI, will certainly be most keen to discuss. So, yeah, Sonia Galactic joining us here in the co-host capacity.
Hello.
Yeah, and
Hi.
hello to Danny as well too, who's maybe he's wanting to lend a hand once he finds some more comfortable place to lay down at here and in the studio. So make yourself at home there, Danny. And you, yeah, we're actually just hearing you're making your way up into the crow's nest right now. How are things looking? Any sign of the technoKRAKEN?
No, we're clear at the moment.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, definitely keep a keen eye on
Absolutely.
Any possible future developments. By the way, now you're friends with Paul on Facebook. Did you actually hear any of the earlier shows that we did with him?
No, I haven't. I have not heard any of the earlier shows.
Oh wow, I just revisited.
Very interesting though.
I revisited actually the first one that we did back in, I think it was 2023, and it was intense for sure. So by all means, people, if you'd like to get we could bring Paul on board, I suppose, right now, but James Heydrich was one of the main things that we talked about in depth. Someone that Paul actually was in contact with. I'm not sure if that's still the case or not, but we'll Paul, why don't we see if your mic is working as it was in the pre-show audio tech end of things.
Test 1 2. Hello.
Hey, great to have you back, man. Excellent, you can make it. I know you want to talk, and we've agreed to get into all things AI. But just as far as Heydrich is concerned, have you remained in touch, or have you moved on as far as your?
Yeah, we're still in touch. He actually just called me last week, and I'm not sure if we talked about it, but I had him on my podcast, and
and Frank Dukes at the same time.
At the same time, yeah, that's right. It was a great podcast. I would love to do another version of that. Since the last time that we did that podcast, he now has the ability to make videos and podcasts live and not get in trouble for it. So because there's a new warden supposedly. So I
Really
want to do another one where we're not having to hide it and like do all this weird stuff that I was doing in the first video. And
interesting.
and I also want to come back to them with all of these videos that have come out on YouTube that have, defamed them and have proven them completely to be liars, and to see what they have to say about that. And would love to have both of them back on.
When you say they, are you talking about Hydrick and Dukes, or the?
Yeah, have to have Hydrick and not get in trouble for it. So because there's a new.
Hang on a second. We're just bringing a Telegram on board there. So, yeah, continue, please.
Oh, you're good.
Can you hear us?
I'm still here. Are you still here?
Yes. No, we were just bringing a Telegram on board. That's why there was that brief audio interference. So we're going to do the same with Facebook. So there's no other way of getting around it, unfortunately. So.
No, I know. Yeah, it's all good. No worries.
Let me ask you, as far as I'm still not clear with Hydrick and Dukes, did they both allege that, I don't know if you say cop to, but because who knows, they might be fabricating the whole thing when it comes right down to it, and for what reason exactly?
Neither one of them have ever admitted to any of the claims that people have against them, in which they're saying, oh, well, we've proven this and we've proven that. You said that your story was this, and then, and the story actually can't be because you were actually in jail at this time. We have proven dates, all of this, you never met a Chinese or sensei in the woods, and all of the stuff that is out there that he said. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but I don't believe that either one of them ever claim or cop to it. They both are fully committed to the story, fully committed to their involvement together, how they met at the night that he had slept underneath the stairs, and then went into the dojo the next morning, where Frank Dukes was training, and this is where he met him, and this is where they supposedly had their first duel. And then Frank was older by a couple years and was already involved in the government supposedly, and then this is how he involves my God, I'm forgetting his name right now. Forgive me.
I think I know who you're thinking of, actually.
No, who were we talking about at the beginning? I'm totally lost my train of thought right now.
Well, Dukes and Hydrick, but what?
Right. So this is where
Mhm.
this is when Dukes gets Hydrick involved in these government supposed missions in which they're going across to other South American countries and doing all kinds of things, and then their last mission goes rogue, and they're the only two that are surviving, and to get them busted, and the whole story that goes, the whole story. That's what they're committed to. So, now since then, Hydrick has, and I've talked to this gentleman, has spoken to the gentleman who was the one who went to court and spoke against him when he was a young kid, has since become religious.
That's right.
And feels bad about the entire thing, and has now gone against what he's saying. And he's saying, I'm willing to go to court. I'm willing to open this back up. I want to talk about how I was forced as a child to speak against Frank. And this is the only reason Frank's in jail or in prison, has been in prison for 30 some odd plus years, which
you mean
by
James,
now,
James or Frank?
Or James, that James is in prison, and he should have gone out by now, but he of course never was, based on all of the other extra things that he did with his life, i.e. I'm a psychic, i.e. I'm MK Ultra, i.e. this, that, and the other. And so they'd rather just keep him locked up and indoors than allow him to be free and live. And I think they're trying to keep them sedated and quiet so that the truth doesn't come out. Who knows anymore?
Yeah,
This
that's
poor
that's
child,
that's all
speaking
really
again, Frank.
what I
And this is
almost
the only reason
suspect
Frank's in jail
myself
or in
is
prison.
because of his role in these black ops, which out of Central and South America, which seem to figure directly into and are part of the whole Iraq, Iran. No, I'm sorry, Iran Contra.
Yeah, Iran Contra. Yeah, sure.
Drugs for guns, scandal, which just blew up in the face of then sitting president. I guess it was Reagan, but really George H.W. Bush, Skull and Bones, 41.
Well, he also
Bush.
connects Highway Rick Ross to them too.
Yeah, I see, and that's where he kind of he
I know. See what I'm
loses
saying?
me.
And he also says that at one point he was part of the
Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters.
Ken Kesey with Kool-Aid and the Kool-Aid acid
The
trips,
Grateful Dead.
and that he was part of the Grateful Dead, and he was, or not part of, but he was part of the system of people going around and giving people acid at these events, and that he was one of the kids that they were hiring to do this.
You know what
He
might be a
also
really
tells
easy
me-
way? I was
Go
just gonna, because I actually rode on Further in Edinburgh, and it was one of the it was the highlights to my trip to Europe in the summer of '99. A real thrill indeed, but found Kesey to be very aloof, very aloof. But there's a lot more to the story than that, which is really noteworthy. But with Heydrich himself, contact Zane. Zane won't talk to me at this point. It seems. I think he might have even blocked me on Facebook for. He's a really.
Who was Zane again in the story?
His son,
Mm.
Zane Kesey. Okay.
I've never spoken to Zane.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, don't, if you do, try not to become too in Zane. Not a good place.
I wonder, here's a total weird side thought that I just had.
Ask him about Heydrich.
Yeah, no, hold on. My side thought here is, and this is completely off topic, but I wonder what it's like to be the son or the daughter of someone who has done something that would be considered quote unquote prolific or great, or even quite the opposite, something massively nefarious or massively, life altering to the world. What would it be like to be the child of that?
Living in the shadow.
In the shadow of that, like here's another sidebar thought. I think of Will Smith's son, in this castle hat that he had on when he went to and all that he does to try and stay relevant within the time that we're in. Yeah, I wonder what it's like to be a son. I mean, look at Nicolas Cage. He changed his name just so he wouldn't be, Nicholas Coppola.
Yeah,
exactly.
He wasn't. That wasn't It's not Francis Ford Coppola's son.
100%. No, it's his nephew.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But even still, he's so close. It's the nepotism is absolutely there. You can't say it's not.
Well,
my brother.
Have you seen
my brother's son?
Have you seen AKA Charlie Sheen?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes or no?
I so want to see it.
Oh well.
I so want to see it.
You do torrents, don't you?
No, I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah,
I'll watch it now.
It's pretty. It's well, not while we're doing the show, hopefully. But
no, not right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
so,
yeah, I'm a big torrent guy.
Because the reason I brought that up,
I've been using this app. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Streamio. And inside of the Streamio app, and I this is for everybody. Please start using this. It's absolutely amazing. Inside the Streamio app, in the back end, it allows you to port in any one of like torrent sites that you can think of. And as long as you're using a VPN, man, oh man, let me tell you. And then it has this beautiful back end UI that's super clean, tells you exactly all of the different, like Netflix and Disney and this and that, and Mindstream and all of everything, and it's just all there in one app without having to jump to a million things and all the stuff that you usually have to go through when torrenting. And then the other one I use a lot is 123 Movies. Let me see if I can find the actual.
Hey, going back to Heydrich, though, well, the two things with the AKA Charlie Sheen. The reason I brought that up is because Nicolas Cage is, he was a kind of a party buddy and a compadre, friend of Sheen's for a number of years. Well, they were, they're at their height of fame, I guess. Yeah, Hollywood. So Cage even had his own bloody castle overlooking the entire city, I guess, was what essentially the documentary had to say. But yeah, it's really well worth checking out. And on the Heydrich front, just to kind of to finish off with this, for clarity's sake, with this business of Iran, the Iran Contra, was he really part? Because he never brought that up with me at all. Like, as I believe you may recall, in the interview that we did, all he copped to was being dispatched on a mission of sorts to document human rights abuses, these mass graves that the death squads had left behind. Nothing to do with drug smuggling or laying the groundwork for the CIA, CIA-driven crack cocaine epidemic across America. So that's why, and I think you found some inconsistencies in his story as well, which that makes it problematic. So I guess really what I'd like to ask, and we'll leave it at that, is that were Dukes and he on the same page? I'm assuming that you pressed them on this, or at least they wanted to talk about it, their
Right.
role in things.
So in the research I did, there was a guy who did a YouTube series on Heydrich himself and absolutely destroyed Heydrich's story left and right. Now, the only thing that goes against this guy is that Heydrich and Dukes both say that there's one gentleman in particular who I spoke on the phone who says he has photos. He has these moments that they're talking about on top of the roof in New York, in Chinatown. That he has all of these moments that were happening. So it's kind of like, whoa, do you or do you not? Is it or is it not? Is this guy on YouTube a paid CIA op? I mean, at this point, I don't trust anything anymore. I mean, Hollywood was taken over by the CIA back in the 50s, right? With that whole Hollywoodism, and I think we talked about it before. It's also in the books that are out there. And once again, you can give my link to all my books to anybody who wants to read them.
Yeah, where is that now? Have we included that? Because
I sent it to you.
Well, we asked if your bio information and your social media had changed since we last spoke, and you, I guess you didn't say too much on that front, so we just assumed that it was just a copy and paste what we had.
Yeah, I mean, not much has changed in the sense of everything that you said was absolutely perfect, and it was a great intro, and I didn't even get to say thank you for it. No, I mean, since the Biden robocall thing, right? This guy Steve Kramer gets busted for $6 million, but all the indictments that happened to him federally went away. They disappeared.
He's been acquitted
completely.
Now,
was that boggling to me?
Well, exactly. Was that during Biden's term in office or since Trump came into power? That he was acquitted.
So the whole court case happened in the Biden era.
Oh,
So
it's a big
right, so
surprise to me.
the leftovers of that case just obviously just happened. I think just last month or 2 months ago. Which totally took me. I was like, how did he not get busted? Which now tells me 100% Biden was involved. 100% the house that he was living in was absolutely given to him by Biden. It was all a ploy to, in the end, try and ruin
And I think just
the last political incumbent guy who was trying to come in. I forgot his name. That was involved at the time that the media ended up pointing fingers and saying, "Oh, well, he's hired by him for 200 and some odd $1,000, so that's the money that was used to make the Biden call. So it must be the other way around."
and
And I'm telling you, nah, go f yourself. It's the other way around.
in what sense?
You know, in the sense that Biden hired him to do some nefarious stuff. He came to him with like this idea of, hey, look, I got this kid who can make these voices. I already made one of Senator Lindsey Graham and put it out into the world, but nothing happened when I did it. But I bet if I did your voice, it would totally work. And he was already on the campaign, supposedly working for Biden at that time anyways, because that's how he got the house that he was living in New Orleans. So if that's the case, then sure, then Biden was trying to ruin this other political wannabe president, and this is a way to do that. And the fingers get pointed to this other political guy, and then look, a week later he was out of the race.
So if anyone is and this made world news at the time, was reported via multiple major media outlets. If anyone is not clear on what it is that we are alluding to here and what Paul was working on unpacking, just go back to the links that we provided in the show description of things. And we got two. One dealing with the whole business surrounding Hydric, and I mean that's the first show that we did went for 3+ hours, and we covered a lot of ground. Isaac Cappy, and Pedo Gate, and there was just
we should get back into that one too. Have you seen the Isaac Cappy Twitter page that's up now?
No,
it's called let me see if I can find it. Cappy.
Josh Harris was this documentary filmmaker, and then these crazy rave parties that you were talking about. This is the underground rave scene, and that kind of, in some ways, I really, you got to wonder, because you hear a lot of stories via people like William Ramsey, Occult Investigations. He's the main driving force behind that project, Occult Investigations. William Ramsey, and the smiley face killers, and the way people just they just disappear. And I was thinking about this, and like, if I had children, God forbid how things kind of unrolled, and how I guess lucky I was back in the day, because even as a guy out on the road, and you meet people at bars or what have you, and you just not keeping a close enough watch on your drink, and trusting that the people around you are not going to be messing with you in any way, and that can often be a fatal mistake, unfortunately. But the whole with Josh Harris, I believe was his name, and he had millions of dollars at his disposal, and ended up
$80 million at one point. So what happened was he sold this business for $80 million. It was called Pseudo. Right. And it was the first television, radio, internet, everything kind of, YouTube of the future, but back in 1997, 98 or something like that.
How about that?
and he sells it, I believe, to Yahoo for 80 something million, and pays off a bunch of debts and this, that, and the other. And whatever money he had left, he wanted to become a blue chip artist. He wanted to become an Andy Warhol. He type of character. And so, yeah, he started throwing these weird parties, a lot like this art coalition now that has many venues all over the United States and all over the world. I forgot the name of them, but the where you pay like $35 and you walk through their art installation. You know, I forgot the name of the crew,
Okay.
but it's them. It's like that kind of thing. And so he would have these rooms that were all plastic and then filled with air, and you would have to push through the bubble to get in, and it's just crazy stuff, you know. And that was his whole idea. And he was hanging out with people who had hung out with Andy Warhol, and he was hanging out with the same people from the Party Monster era. If you want to really get weird, that's who he was hanging out with. That crew.
Party Monster era?
Yeah, you don't know the movie Party Monster?
No.
So it was the first movie that Macaulay Culkin did when he comes back as an adult, and this story's absolutely ridiculous. So there's a kid who moves from the Midwest to New York, and then there's this other kid who's a trust fund kid, and he's super like crazy and flamboyant, and they create these party kids, and they start wearing these flamboyant. When I say flamboyant, I mean I'm full on pew to the moon when it comes to character and makeup and the whole thing, and drugs, and and they got into ketamine pretty hard. Now, at some point, there's a drug dealer who moves in with one of them, and he gets into a fight, and him and a friend of him murder him, and they leave him in the bathtub. This is so scary.
This is not a dark comedy. It's actually kind of like a suspense thriller.
This is a real true life story.
You're kidding.
Straight up out of crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Maybe you told us about this.
No, I've never talked about this with you. I've never talked.
William Ramsey did. Then I bet that's who it was. Sure,
maybe, but you need to look this up. It's crazy.
And then they made a movie.
On top of that, so first they make a documentary about it with all the back end footage and everything, and then that documentary turns into the movie that gets done with Seth Green, I believe, and Macaulay Culkin, and it's Macaulay Culkin's first film as an adult. His last film prior to that, I think, was Richie Rich. And he was like maybe 14 years old at the time, so he's now like 20 something years old, and he takes on this really dramatic role.
How did he do? Did he?
Let me tell you honestly, you have to see the movie. It's become a cult classic. It's absolutely ridiculous. And he does a really good job in it as an adult actor coming in. And I think a lot of it was much of the life that he had been living as this teen who had gotten away from the fame, who had some crappy movies along the way. People pushed him out, made fun of him. Oh, you're not going to ever be in anything now. And it was his first movie back, and it was just like, let me tell you what I can be. Boom, and just punch you in the face with acting.
He was already part of that scene as well. Then the underground, because I think he was a lead, like he was kind of ketamine and part, like kind of like I'll be a little like Charlie Sheen kind of. I can do it too.
I think more so than that. I think he was actually part of this scene. He was actually part of I think maybe even in the outskirts of the actual drama that happened. I think he was right there and was like, and then when these guys wanted to do this film, who were these underground documentary filmmakers, they knew that he was involved, and they were like, yo, you're perfect for the role. We need to get it's Seth Green. Oh, it's gonna be great.
It's not much of a stretch. Not much of a stretch at all.
Really it isn't. And what does he play? He plays a ketamine drug using kid in the film,
making bodies disappear.
And he kills somebody, and then the story is that they leave the kid in the bathtub, and they put ice on him, and it starts to stink up the place.
Oh God.
And then they pay somebody once, I forget who it is, but they pay somebody a certain amount of money to end up cutting up the body and disposing of the pieces. And then leftover pieces were placed in a box that was left in the living room for another week. It's so fucked up, bro.
Oh,
and then
God.
they took it and they threw it into the river.
Oh.
And then wait, it gets better. It gets better. Then the guy goes on camera repeatedly and says, I'm the guy who killed this kid. I'm the guy who killed this kid. Nobody believed him.
Oh, jeez.
And then he finally gets busted and went to jail. He gets out, tries to become famous again, hanging out with the same leftovers of that scene, which is, 10 years later or something like that. The main guy in the movie had written a letter to him, I think, when he got out, but when he passed away, he never said anything to him. And supposedly they spoke while he was in prison, and he said to him on the phone, "Oh, didn't they tell you I'm the one who got you busted?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, yeah. And then he's paused. So this is a phone recording that was, obviously used, but he paused and he says, "You know what? Thank you. You saved my life." And he was like, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do here," because it's crazy that he calls him from prison while they're videotaping, and this is real life, when they were doing the actual first documentary. And then they used it in the movie because it was such an intense moment that, like, while they're filming this moment where he's on this lounge chair, he picks up the phone and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Michael," or whoever it is, right? And he tells him the story right there and then, and then that becomes part of the movie later. Crazy, just crazy. So
Wild,
yeah.
Sonia, have you heard? By the way, let's give a shout out here to Zap and Zane Ivy, who have logged in. A lot of others who have yet to do so. Come on, lurkers, you can do a better job. I was just talking about these earlier shows that we did. We had as many, over 100 messages actually that people left via the Peanut Gallery. So it would be great to hit that mark and reach that threshold once again with a lot of thoughts, questions, criticisms, and the like coming our way.
Well, we haven't even gotten into the AI stuff yet. So
well, that's mainly what we're here for. And then don't forget, you want to press me. Once we get started, like, be careful.
It's not like we already had the conversation before we went live, but you already kind of answered it for me in the way that you answered it. So it doesn't. No, it's not. Listen. If I'll go ahead and say it again the way I said it before we went live. It's about a certain amount of rhetoric that goes on that makes me go, wait a second, how credible are the sources? How like for instance, I see that in the Talmud it says you could rape a 3-year-old and it's okay to have. It's like, whoa, guys, talk about
it's terrible.
Misrepresenting and misreading and absolutely.
Talmud is terrible. I'm not a fan. Sorry.
Well, I mean, so like what I'm saying.
True Torah, fine, okay, but Talmud is
no. But I'm saying, like, when someone goes into that quote, and they only use that one line from this Talmudic understanding of something,
right?
It really.
Voices on the airwaves, secrets to unfold. Listeners all gather, mysteries
What is the reason? Why is
it's very heavy.
Jesus boiling in excrement for all of eternity?
Stop.
It's terrible.
It comes to when we're talking about this one thing, about the 3-year-old rape thing. Okay. One, no one is condemning rape, first of all, in any way, shape, or form. And it says that explicitly within the whole entire passage if you go through it, but that's not the point. Two, it's talking about the halachic law of that girl and putting precedence of that person in front of it to give her the ability to have a future husband so that when she's married, she is still considered to be, quote unquote, virginal. And so therefore, if she is to be raped before the age of 3 and 1 day, it is to say that she is still free from condemnation or from some kind of negativity from having a marriage, a blemish, if you will, that would come from the marriage, from the union of two souls.
So this is saying, you said if, not whether, not rather,
no, it's
not that you should do this, but just if.
3-year-olds, come on, dude, it would never.
Well, the Quran, hey, there's some pretty extreme, but some people interpret it in that way, though. Is my understanding, both whether inside the Jewish community or outside. It's from both, similar to the whole thing with. I
think that's another thing we should talk
Quran
about. And that's, we can go with the Quran. We can go with
beliefs.
So, yeah, and I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but yes, I agree with you. Yes, every major religious belief has what I'm going to call fanaticism, and fanaticism or extremism in anything creates really crazy people. For instance, there's a place in Jerusalem called Mea Sharim, which is the most Haredi, most religious place in Israel. Now, I did not know this at the time. And I'm walking around Mea Sharim, and I'm singing a happy song, by the way. It's not like some kind of negativity or some kind of like System of a Down.
Right. You were feeling good. You're in a good mood. Like, spread the joy.
Yes, exactly, bro. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm singing some kind of Harry Connick Jr. tune or something. Oh, he's always happy. He never looks mean. Even if the sun should come in between.
Shut up.
The man in the moon is smiling.
Too much noise.
Right? So, bro, it wasn't even that. It was rocks.
Oh no.
And bleach water.
Oh no. And it's because it was where you were at. Location is everything. Right?
And that makes sense. Listen, that makes sense. When in Rome, right?
You didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know. And yeah, if you're in some religious country, let's say you're in the UAE or you're somewhere, and they're like, hey, don't hold hands with a woman. Woman, please cover your head and while you're walking down the street, because that's what we like in our country. Do what you're supposed to do in the country and don't be disrespectful.
Right.
It's nothing more, nothing less. And that's where I was. And I was in a country, and I more so than that, I was in the most strict kind of space of that country.
You got 15 minutes.
I saw it. Yeah, I just saw it.
We'll be reconnecting. Don't worry.
Yeah, no worries. And let's I guess let's keep on this for a bit more, and then we can go ahead and kick out and then come back in. You can do your hour tip off, and
you initially I think started during the pre-show. You're like, why do you hate Jews so much?
It's because what happened was, stop it, Jabby. Stop.
My grandmother taught me as a little child really early. She said, "Be very careful of hate." I said something about, I hate this, that I hate that. Or it's like this juice
so
or that those cookies. And that's where she had the little teaching moment. My grandma, it's like, you'd be very careful.
My dad said the same thing to me, Jackie.
Like, seriously. Yeah.
My dad said, never say you hate anything.
I might not like it. I
Yeah.
might not like Netanyahu, bad man. I don't like him. I don't hate him.
And listen,
you know.
listen, we can get into the Israel thing if you want to, because we're
you.
talking about Jewish, we're talking about this. I want to mention one thing very, very emphatically right now. There's a big difference between those who are Torah observant, what we're going to call real Jews,
True Torah.
Traditional real Torah observant Jews that aren't trying to twist something, that aren't trying to be political, that aren't trying to take over land that supposedly is theirs, even though they gave it away. None of these people, in my opinion, are Jew-ish.
Oh, yeah?
They are Jew-ish.
Maybe they're Hebrew? I don't know.
No. Because there's a lot of Jews. Okay. So let's get this straight.
Well, yeah.
This is my big point. Yeah. I want to make this big point. There are a lot of the Jewish men who went to Hollywood, who then married outside of Judaism and then had children with those non-Jewish women, and those women
Voices on the airwaves, secrets to unfold. Listeners all gather, mysteries untold.
Half Jew.
Wow.
And this, and wait, hold on, and this.
Voices on the airwaves, secrets to unfold. Listeners all gather, mysteries untold.
And then it becomes very political, of course, because they're buying both sides of the war. They're doing everything they can to make more money, right? So at what point, if you look at a real Jewish man, who gets up and washes his hands before he even touches the ground and says a prayer and washes away the death from his body, a man who then goes and before he even eats, before he even greets his family after he says hello to his wife, who's in a separate bed, depending if she's has or has not had her period, right, with a 2-week period of in-betweens, yada, yada. Okay, all of the stuff. Then he goes straight to pray, comes back, and then says hello to his wife and children and gives love, and then has a thing, and then
those are the practicing Jews. Those are
that's a real Jewish person. But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's real Judaism.
Okay. So
everything else after that, in my opinion, this is me speaking here from being a Jewish person. Anything else after that is complete, utter bullshit.
Yeah. Well, how do you self-identify, though? Was your mother Jewish?
That's the thing that's weird, right? Here's the thing. What is a Jew?
Exactly.
A Jew can be so many different things. A Jew can be somebody who chose to be the religion. A Jew can be somebody who was raised in Israel. A Jew can be somebody who was just born a Jew in another country, who's never understood Judaism, who's never studied the religion. That's a Jew. This is why I relate Judaism to being black. Because it's kind of the same thing. Black people have been subjugated throughout history, so have the Jews. Black people have been taken away from their traditions and their ideas, so have the Jews. But the only difference, I think, that the Jews have, that the blacks of the world unfortunately didn't have, is this thing called Torah, is this oral and written tradition that ended up being the savior of these people. It's there's no other answer, right? If you look at Mark Twain, and he has this really great great thing called hold on here. You're not done.
You like that punchline?
I'm done. I'm gonna look up right now
basketball.
to find out one basketball Jew, like real quick.
No. No, that, yeah. No, I was talking about the blacks. That's their Torah, right? Or that's their religion. And
Come on.
So
You know
anyways.
what just happened, by the way? Talking about crazy, Gutfeld. You know Gutfeld from MSNBC?
He converted.
No, crazy is all get out. He's on live television, and he says, "You know, you're right. We need to learn from them blacks. That's the way that they used the N-word and they took power over it. We need to do the same thing." And I missed a line which was before, which is, they don't like us. They don't like us, and we need to learn from the blacks. You're right. So from now on, I'm just going to be like, "Hey, what's up, my Nazi? Hey, what's up?" And he's pointing, by the way, to his co-host.
Did he spell it out, the N-word? Did he actually drop the N-word?
Straight up. Drop the, like this. I swear he says it like this. "What's up, my Nazi? Hey, my Nazi. From now on, that's how I'm doing it. What's up, Nazi?" And then Kennedy from MTV, she drops a
deuce.
She drops a Nazi, but she's like, "Oh, what was it? Oh man, it's
Nagger. That's the N-word. Nagger.
No, she says.
Damn.
She says, oh God, what was the word that she said?
Do you know that nearly 200,000 Jews fought as Nazis in support of Hitler and his war machine?
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. There was a ton of people who.
Where did they all end up? Where did they go after the war?
So many of them were murdered, and many of them, many of them were murdered, and many of them ran away.
They were fighting for.
Well, there's one really big story.
Hitler's war machine, and they're loyal Nazis.
Well, the Stockholm syndrome, but nonetheless, I would do whatever. I would do whatever to survive, possibly as well. There's a story. There's a great story. Hold on. There's a great story of a kid who hides within a toilet, to hide from the Nazis, and then as he gets out or something, he covers his penis with a rubber band, and actually becomes one of the biggest generals for the Nazis, and ended up killing millions of Jews. It's a crazy story. You have to look it up. It's the Holocaust Museum has a whole thing about this guy, and his whole story, and how he did this whole thing just to survive. And listen. I don't know what you want to say, who you want to blame during war, what is, what isn't, how we point fingers. I don't even know what I would do at the age of 14 or 15 when there's an army or a thing coming at me. I don't know. Maybe I would put a rubber band on my penis and start saying, "Kill the Jews."
Hindsight,
I don't know.
2020, looking back. So, but the Holocaust, who did it benefit first and foremost?
Man, I don't know, fucking in the end. Honestly, because I wrote this last book, it's called "Was Hitler Right?" Once again, if my link is up, please post that link so people can look at it. It got me barred off of Facebook for getting any kind of monetization just because I posted it. And if you look at the cover, it doesn't even look that crazy. It's a head with a half mechanical bio brain, and not even a full swastika behind him. You can only see three of the piece of,
it's
of
just
the point.
that you asked the question. The question is non-PC.
The question is, was Hitler right? And it's a question mark. You can't ask that question. And that's crazy, because one of the main points of the book is to say, if we don't look at the horrors of the past, how are we not going to recognize what those horrors are in the future? And so you ask, who benefited from the whole SS Hitler Mein Kampf conceptual idea? Bro, the fascist left, which is now taking over with transgenderism, which moves to transhumanism, which moves to eugenics, which moves to bioengineered babies, which moves to take over of the world in a new world order kind of way. And that's what all of my books end up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brave New World, 100%. 1984. Here's the kicker. Just like it said in Brave New World, we will beg for it, and that's exactly what we're doing now with smart cities. That's exactly going back to Josh Harris, what he talks about when he says the evolution of toothpaste, which is a great YouTube video. Please watch it, where he talks about how in the future we won't have any choice but to be live streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week because of AI, because of the ability of it to be able to make any video at any time, at any place, and anywhere, and put you anywhere, and change the background, and change you, and do whatever. So now, if that's the case, I have to be filming myself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If not, then the government or a spy or the hackers or my enemies or whoever can make videos of me murdering a child or kicking a dog or whatever, and then before you know it, I'm killed on the internet, and there's 100 people at my door wanting to shoot me with shotguns because I murder puppies.
Yeah.
If I don't have myself streaming 24 hours a day, I can't then go, oh, look at this fucking asshole saying that I killed puppies when I'm sitting here.
And look
I'm sitting at home right now.
Right. Is that a new dog, or is that the one you had last year?
This is Moose. Hold on. Let me turn off the. Oh, there we go.
And how about the biometric data? The theft of biometric data. That is scary.
Kitty.
What is he? He's a mixed little.
He's half Chihuahua, half Dachshund.
Hey, sweetie.
Dotson. I used to have a Dotson named
Hey,
Odin.
baby. Hi.
This is Mr. Moose.
Hi, Mr.
He's
Moose.
the sweetest, the absolute sweetest, most quiet, loving, absolute, like
Don't tell me he was a street dog. Did you get him off the streets?
Are you okay, Beep Beep? You have the stomach ache?
Where'd you get him from?
No. So here's a cute story. So 2 houses down from here used to live a woman who was around my age, about 2 years younger. And she had a son who was overweight, who didn't have friends, and found out that I was a magician. He thinks I'm a famous magician.
You kind of are.
Not really. And so he says to me, oh, will you teach me magic? So I taught him equal, unequal ropes.
Okay.
We all know the trick.
Well, a few of us do, yeah.
Yeah, do we have to go? We have 1 minute. Let's go ahead and
kick
out.
They're gonna.
And I'll come back and tell the story. Yeah, go ahead and kick us out. I'll call Brett back.
Oh no, it's fine. The stream will end, and we got, I don't know, it says here 5 minutes, but yeah.
I thought it said like 60 seconds, and I thought we were out, so I just didn't want to.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep talking until this portion of the show, this segment ends.
Yeah,
no problem. Yeah, so I taught the kid what's called equal, unequal ropes, which is the 3 ropes.
Yes.
And so then I left and I went out of town. I'm doing my busking and whatever. And then I come back and I knock on her door to say hello because she's 2 houses down. We like to smoke together and whatever. So I went over to say hello. And I hear this boom, 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 come to the door as he's running around the house. And he's like, who is it? And I'm like, it's Paul. And he's like, oh my God. And he runs away. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, Mom, Paul's here. Paul's here. The next thing I hear is boom, 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 boom. And he comes to the door and he's got this little 6-week-old puppy in his hand. It's like, barely fits in my hand. And he goes, look, Paul, it's yours. His name is Loco because he's crazy just like you.
Awesome.
I'm like, oh my God.
You're still New Orleans based, is that right? Oh, you know what? There we go. The feed is gone. So, not that the thrill is gone, because anytime we connect with Paul David Carpenter, there's always a little bit of a thrill factor present. There's no doubt about that. So, let's see what Zane Ivy had to say here. I didn't want to press Paul too much regarding the Talmudic. I guess it's mostly it's a rabbinical interpretive tradition. You got the priest class has got to stay busy doing something, right? So endless number of commentaries. Sanhedrin 5:9a, murdering Goyim is like killing a wild animal. Okay, well, more context, I guess, is what Paul and the apologists would say, and that's fine. You gotta have a discussion, conversation here, but even the best of the Gentiles should be killed. Show no mercy to the Goyim. Geez, it's kind of reminiscent to the Quran, isn't it? You know, show no mercy to the kafir, the unbeliever. So only in this context, it's more an ethnic type quasi-racial ideology and belief, whereas uh, in the Islamic tradition, it's more just the unbeliever, strictly what you believe, what you think. It's wrong think, and because of that, you are ultimately marked for death. So let's hope that they let's hope that they dropped out here, of course, and we can now.
I'm back.
Oh boy, hang on. We're gonna try to reboot here. Let's see. Hang on a second. Bear with us. I maybe I forgot to remind Paul that it was best that he reboot the Telegram. Oh, I'm sorry, the Teams rather, or else the 1 hour clock starts a tick, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Something which you don't have to worry so much with when it comes to Jitsi is not a problem, of course, and that's free, and there's no time limit that they have in place whatsoever, not yet, at least. But yeah, keep your thoughts, questions, comments, and the like coming our way, folks. Episode number 356, magician and illusionist, New Orleans-based magician, Paul David Carpenter. So let's see if we can. No, well, they want us to do audio here for some reason. So if we can even. There we go. It looks like it may be kicking in now. So hopefully, bring Sonia back on board. We'll ask her to try to keep a keen watch on what we've got taking place out there via the interwebs. Paul, bear with us here if you would. I'm not sure how Sonia disappeared, but every time we close these calls, like everyone should just leave via Teams and then reconnect, and we're off to the races again. You can hear me, I guess, can't you?
I can. Can you hear
Good.
me?
Yeah, can't see you yet, but that's okay.
Oh, here I come. Yeah, there I go. Should I tell her to leave and then come back?
Yeah, kick her out. Just leave. Are you on another call with her?
No, I'm texting with her though.
Oh, no, that's we'll just invite her here and it should work, hopefully. So we'll see if we can do that. So all right. So I think AI is one of the main although the puppy was great. We got 3 cats, of course, beautiful. Who doesn't love animals? Well, and it's, the people that hurt, go out of their way to hurt or abuse animals. It's like the way that some people they treat children. Unfortunately, it just and most normal, people of good conscience are, it clearly rubs them the wrong way, and they want to do what they can to speak out in defense of these poor, defenseless, animals or people. And that's one of the reasons why so many, I think the tide is turning against Netanyahu, and it is Netanyahu himself and this radical right-wing Likud coalition. Frankly.
There's a lot going on there, man. So after when we talked that first time, when we first talked that first time, I was totally against how the idea of leaving the borders open, and I had to research it a little bit. So I can agree with you that yes, it was done, but no, it wasn't done. And so what do I mean by that? So it was during Shabbat, and it was also during a high holiday occurrence. And so during those times, it's very well documented that the borders are very open and that there's not a lot of people who are working, who are in the military during that time, during high holidays specifically, and during Shabbat specifically. So, so that's why I could say that I can understand that. Now, on the other side of things, I personally have been held at a jail in Jerusalem because I had bought some hashish. Okay. And I'm 32 at the time, so I'm 49 now. So do the math. That's a long time ago.
You were seen on
And-
camera, I believe. Is that right? CCTV?
Bro,
Right?
I'm telling you. So this was back then.
Very sophisticated technology.
Now
and
let me
surveillance.
let me also put in a caveat there. I was in the old city of Jerusalem, which per capita has more cameras than any freaking location in the world.
Oh, great.
It's like every angle from every place from every entrance.
Yeah,
from
and
the
they
floor,
listen.
from the-
They listen to everyone talking in their conversations as well.
Dude, it's crazy. So yes. So I was held, and then my rabbi came in, and they got me and pulled me out, and they were like, "Come on, dude, he's a guy from the thing. What are you talking? Drug dealer. Come on, dude. This guy's
was it like a gram or something?
No, it was it was like a little chocolate. Looks like a Kit Kat bar. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Whatever, man. It's soft recreational drugs. Big deal. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not like it's heroin or anything crazy. Yeah, it's it comes out of a camel's ass, for God's sake.
Oh,
I mean, if you know anything about how hashish is actually made, come on.
Are you no?
You
no.
know?
Give me it doesn't come from a camel's butt. Are you serious? Come on. No, dude, it's made from pot plants. The oil extracted from weed. Correct?
Go ahead and go to ChatGPT on this one.
ChatGPT says the hash
hashish,
is born from a camel's
Does hashish
butt?
have camel dung in it?
Oh, I see. If
or
they want to cut it.
mixed
Yeah.
into it. No,
sure.
it's how it's.
Does it get you higher?
I don't know.
Well, that's why either they're cutting it because they're wanting to, reduce the amount of the good quality, product that they offer, or it's some way of getting people more stoned.
So supposedly, so I'm gonna go with ChatGPT on this one. It's totally incorrect. It's just a rumor. Where the camel dung rumor came from is from the 1960s and 70s. Western travelers returning from North Africa and the Middle East spread stories that Moroccan or Afghan hash was mixed with camel dung. In reality, this is mostly a way of discrediting the foreign drugs or adding a sense of taboo mystique to it. The rumor probably started because hand-rolled hash can be dark, sticky, and have a strong odor, and because some rural areas did have very basic processing environments. I get it. It could look like a very chunky looking. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So it looks like hand dung. It's not really hand dung.
Right.
Listen, I've smoked enough of it to know that it got me high, so I don't care.
Hash is great. I love hash. Yeah.
Hello, person we don't know.
Sonia's got a new hubby.
Oh, well, hello, hubby.
She's really robbing the cradle.
This is my son and my daughter attacking me.
Oh, now it got weird. It just got weird. No, this is one of those TV channels I'm not supposed to watch. Change the channel. Change the channel.
Very creepy.
No, they're attacking me.
Frank
my
caller.
kids came in.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go down the rabbit hole. Let's get down the rabbit hole of AI.
All right.
I mentioned it.
Okay.
I mentioned it, but I didn't get too deep into it. But I will like to say this. What is happening in Israel currently is, one, it's not a genocide. I don't care what anybody says. There's never been a genocide in history where people send pamphlets and say, hey, by the way, we're about to bomb you on Tuesday. Please get out. Never in the history of time has that ever happened. So I don't consider that a genocide, first of all. Second of all, there's no such thing as a place called Palestine. They don't even have their own court systems. They don't have a governing body. The only thing they have is Hamas, which is a terrorist organization that likes to place bombs on themselves and kill
set up by
indiscriminately.
Netanyahu and friends back in the day.
Okay, I'm gonna catch you
Straw
on that
man,
one as well.
straw man.
I'm gonna catch you on that one as well. During the time that you're talking about PLO, Hamas,
Get the PLO out of the way. Get the Hamas.
This is exactly when this is happening. This is what we're talking about.
They wanted to get rid of the PLO.
They wanted to get rid of the PLO, and it's the same thing. Look, going to the Iran Contra, it's the same thing that happened during Afghanistan and the United States not wanting to fight Russia during the Cold War. We give tons of money to Afghanistan. We give them tons of stuff. They're blowing down things with our Sidewinder missiles. And then when it comes down to it, that we're supposed to build schools and new hospitals, United States turns around and goes, "We don't know what you're talking about." And then all of a sudden, 10 years later, we have Saddam Hussein. So that we paid for, the United States government paid with the CIA, gave money, taught them how to fight, showed them what to do. And then we had to deal with the repercussions of not taking care of the actual issues that we had gone to war and we had put that money into war. It's the same thing that's happening again, but instead with Israel, instead with these people who have been for the last 40 years told that they're refugees. And you can't be a refugee after 40 years, no offense, especially if you're in the same land. There's also this idea of the occupation.
Right to return. Completely denied.
There isn't. That's so untrue, because there's how many Palestinians live in Israel currently? How many hold
return to Gaza?
How many hold official positions? In what Muslim country is there a Jewish person holding an official position? None, not one. And if there's Muslims in official positions in the Jewish there is that part that
there's granted, and that's part of what makes it more complicated.
That's what makes Israel amazing for the Middle East, because it's the only Middle Eastern country in which people are working together, living in their own religions, and nobody's forcing anyone to live the way that they are meant to live or forced to live under Sharia law, like in the UAE or any other country. If you go to Israel and you want to be Muslim and pray to Allah, bro. Go to the old city. You hear people praying to Allah 5 times a day. You hear it on the speakers.
There's
not a Jew that sits there. Hold on. There's not a person who's in Israel who walks around the old city who hears that thing go off 5 times a day. Go, hey, fuck you fucking Muslim! Can't believe you're praying again. Not one, because they let them live their own lives.
They got along quite well.
Let me go
under
on my
the
rant.
British-Palestinian mandate, things were quite peaceful in the lead up to 1948. And are you aware of the
Voices on the airwaves, secrets to unfold. Listeners all gather, mysteries untold.
Minority movement. It was
I think on some level we're covering that by saying I think there's some Jewish and Jews, 2 different types of people who are in 2 different camps. One who are going for this esoteric love, human, one God, we're all together kind of people. And then another group of people who are full on, like, let's take over the world. I'm totally into Nazi ideology. I'm into using that to use technology, create transhumanism, all of the things, John Money, all these things, and all these people who are also Jewish, who are getting paid by money, who are also other Jews on the other side, who are not with a lot of money, who are usually poor and are just praying at a wall going,
or just secular atheists, and that's the way Israel itself was. It was not a religious. It's not a religious state. It was founded as an secular ethno-nationalist state. And where you bring in look at it from the angle of the Ashkenazi interlopers, as I refer to them. I think you yourself are ethnically
I'm
Ashkenaz,
hardcore ethnic, right? So my family's Moroccan.
completely
And
non-Semitic. Who's more Semitic, the Ashkenazi European, East
the
European
other way around. It's the other way
Ashkenazi
around.
interlopers, or the indigenous Palestinians? Who's more
Well,
Semitic?
I think
Indigenous,
so. Well, again,
ethnically.
you keep okay. So Jaffe, you keep saying Palestinians. There is no Palestine.
There's been Palestine
we
since
can
the
keep
time
saying-
of ancient
we
Rome.
can keep saying we can keep saying Palestine all we want. Palestine was created by two different things. One, the Romans, when they took over Judea, they call it Palestina because they wanted to make fun of the Jews because of the Philistines. Second, the only other people that ever called it Palestine were the PLO movement, were in the 1960s when they wanted to have a location and they wanted to have a thing. The PLO, who were going around indiscriminately killing people in different places, going around and bombing people in buses, going around and taking over planes. These are absolute fucking terrorists.
Yeah, as
Let
if
me just- that's who they are.
as if the
And the same
Stern
thing
and
with
Air
Hamas.
Gun, like we're
on,
not doing,
hold on, Hold on. The
engaged in.
same thing with Hamas.
Come on.
The same thing with the people in the streets.
This is
If you
very
go to
lame.
the people in the streets right now of Palestine and you say, we want a two-state solution, they will all tell you emphatically, no effing way. From the river to the sea.
The people
we
where?
want the Jews to be gone. Period. We
People
want
where?
the extermination of the Jews.
Who?
That is what every Palestinian will tell you. If
You
you
said-
go to the streets of Palestine today.
You said there wasn't a Palestine. Now there is.
No, stop it. Stop it. There isn't a Palestine, but I'm going to go ahead and give you what you want.
I mean,
because
look,
have
look,
no other-
look. The Israel's supplanted itself upon in that region. The region of Palestine is basically
There
what
we
it
go.
turned out to be. So, but he didn't. This is a simple question: who's more ethnically Semitic, the East European Ashkenazi
Stop it.
interlopers, or
The
the
people
indigenous
who-
Palestinians that have been there
Stop
for
it. Stop
thousands
it.
of years?
Because
These
what you're
others have
saying
been on the
isn't
move.
reality. What you're saying isn't
I think
reality.
we know the
bro.
answer. You're avoiding the.
Hold
avoiding,
on. No,
but,
you're
yeah.
incorrect because what you're saying is incorrect because as that happened and the state of Israel happened, there were millions
2,000
of
years.
Jews who left, who were kicked out of Muslim countries that went straight to Israel. So
what time? During what era? After the war?
and I have the actual thing here for you. I'm going to give it to you because I knew this was going to come up.
Yeah,
I
fine.
wanted to
I
give
think
this to
as
you.
listeners we'll give you time, a bit of a breather. As
I
listeners
love
can
you. I
understand
love you.
and
Listen,
appreciate,
I love you,
it's
but I think once again,
complicated, very
yeah.
complicated. And you know what? You're one of the few, because I think there's many more actually American Jews who just they're Americans. They could care less about Israel. It's like okay, not part of my identity or who I am as a Jew. So, but with you, clearly it is.
It's weird.
And
No, no, I don't know if I take that. I don't know if I accept that, Jaffe. There's a lot of people who are what I would consider now and today, like my own nieces, like my own niece right now. I have one that married very hardcore Jewish. He's very Jewish.
Religious
I have another
practicing.
one,
Yeah.
Orthodox.
But and there's
Like
different
modern-
sects and
a
divisions,
modern
like
Orthodox
Reform,
Jew. He's-
Orthodox. It's so complicated. It really is. And
There's no. It goes back to being Torah observant or
okay.
non-Torah.
And how about the
observant, period.
Sabbateans? Hey, Sabbatee Zevi. Oh my God! Like
I mean,
bad
There's
man.
some heavy guys.
Bad
This is what
man.
I'm saying.
And that's what we
Heavy
have today.
people, brother.
People that are influenced, people that have inherited his legacy and continue to promote his philosophy. Those people are the ones, they belong behind bars, frankly.
Same thing as the Palestinians for 40 years being manipulated by the people who are called Hamas and by the PLO to make them feel that they have their own thing, and then being told that it's the same thing, bro. And listen, all of the people who were in Muslim countries, again, who were Jewish at the time that 47 happens, they all get kicked out of those countries and forced into Israel.
Yeah, Israel was behind that, though. That was all part. That's what
That
they
wasn't
did.
because that way you.
They actually, like I said, the Stern, the Ergun. There's other terrorist groups, including I think it was these they were behind that in steering, intimidating through coercion, getting them from out of Iraq, Iran, and to getting them back to Israel. If they didn't want to go of their own free will and accord, they'd force them. What do you think the Holocaust was all about? The Shoah, man. If you were not pro-Zionist and get your ass out of Europe, if you decided to stay, you had the chance to leave. If you decided to stay, well, you had your opportunity.
Well, you deal with the pogroms.
You're not supporting Israel.
You have to deal with the pogroms. You have to deal with us killing your babies in the street and ripping them at the legs and at the arms because we didn't like you.
Well,
that's what we have to deal with. And that's why all the Jews start running away and going to the United States, because the only place to find some kind of quote unquote freedom. Come on, dude.
I'm not enough of an expert in the field. And Norman Finkelstein, I guess, you've probably looked into and followed some of his work. Of course, he's written extensively on the Holocaust industry. That's just like the gift that just keeps on giving for some, obviously.
I mean, listen. There's nothing. Okay, hold on. So, one, I agree with you on the kind of reparations whole thing. Like, there's only so much, but at the same time, it wasn't just the Jews that were killed during the Holocaust
or World War II.
It wasn't right, exactly. So
it was 12 times as many more Gentile goy than Jews. Why is that so disproportionate? The amount that we hear is like, oh, they.
Well, because because Jews are only 1% of the population of the entire world.
It's totally unjustified and ridiculous. Yes, look. Yes, we need to have conversation and talk about the Holocaust and why they were targeted, but we need to be realistic and understand it was all for the sake of Israel. That's why there wouldn't have been a Holocaust if Israel had not, there hadn't been world Zionism to begin with. That's obvious. Like, I don't know how stupid some people can be. They just are not able to connect those dots. It maybe because it's not. He could, from the mouth of like a child could see this, quite easily, I'm sure. So it's a burnt show up burnt offering. Hello.
I have some dates for you here. So Iraqi Jews, ancient community of Babylon, expelled in 1950s in the Operation Ezra and Nehemiah. Yemeni Jews brought in through Operation Magic Carpet, 1949 to Nifty 50. Airlifting 50,000 Jews to Israel. Egyptian Jews expelled after 1948 and 1956 wars. Syrian and Lebanese Jews, smaller numbers, often under pressure in the 1948. North African Jews, Moroccan, Tunisia, Algeria, Libya. Many came in 1950 and 60s as colonized systems collapsed and anti-Semitism rose. Persian, Iranian Jews, some came before 1948 through larger waves, arrived later, especially in 1979. So in the first years after the independence, roughly 600,000 Jews that were Arab Muslim countries in 1948, with a few decades over 800,000 left or were expelled, with majority resettling in Israel. So there's this is what I'm saying about some of the numbers.
Yeah.
Now, did the Ashkenazi Jews come? Yes, they came.
Those weren't Ashkenazis, the ones you just referenced. That's a different.
That's all Sephardic. So there's only two types of Jews, right? There's Sephardic Jews and Ashkenazi Jews.
No. What Mesadri? What are the North Africans? The Ethiopian Jews.
What you're going to call like Messianic Jews?
I don't know what they're called. They're called. Who knows?
We're going to go with Rastafarianism.
Well, but you know that the Ark of the Covenant. Do you know where apparently the Ark of the Covenant? It actually is said to exist. You know where it's being kept at present?
I mean, I thought it was the Roman Vatican, and supposedly underneath the thing, and they have some kind of big.
Could be.
They're going to open up the doors.
Yeah. No. Ethiopia.
Really?
Graham Hancock, Ethiopia. It's been there for a long time. They have these priests that actually, I don't know if it only gets so close to it or what have you. They're part of the security detail or what exactly. But look into it if you're interested. Graham Hancock.
I'm totally going to look it up right now.
Yeah, Ark of the Covenant, Ethiopia. Yeah. So, but anyways, and the whole Semitic thing, that term has got to go. Semitic, anti-Semitic. Stop, people. They've absconded. They've usurped that term. They weaponized it. It's been politicized. If you mean hatred of Jews, then say it. but don't say don't,
But there
because
isn't
it's
a word for it.
offensive. It's offensive, and it's also not anti-intellectual. It's a disgrace.
But I mean, on some level, it makes sense because most modern, if not all modern, religions come from the Abrahamic religion, which is Judaism. So
most Semites are not Jewish, whereas and most Jews, meanwhile, they're not Semitic. They may be a little Semitic in their heritage, their ethnic heritage. They may. Do you know that Hebrew, for crying out loud?
What is a Jew?
Do you know
again, what is a Jew?
Exactly.
Right?
Complicated.
It's so
okay,
hard,
we understand.
It's so
yeah,
hard.
complicated.
It's so hard. Dude.
Exactly.
It's
but
so hard.
Miss Adrian, but the Hebrew, for crying out loud. Do you know Benjamin Netanyahu? Is that his real name? It's not his real name. Emma, who is Gold, who was the founder? And then all these bloody, the original, who was JFK at war with? Yeah, bang, bang, JFK. He was, didn't want them to have the nuclear program.
Mizrahi, you're talking about Mizrahi? Is that where you're coming to?
Anyways, they all changed their names to be more Hebraic. And the fact is, Hebrew was a dying language at the time. You know that, I'm sure you do. There's a dying language. So, we got to resurrect that, make everything more, the Semitic thing. And yeah, that kind of works nicely with what we have envisioned here and laid out, and got to keep promoting that.
Jaffe, I think that in the end of this whole thing that we're talking about here, what we're really talking about is two groups of people. Ones that want to push the revelation ideology, that want to have world domination, that want to create war, that want to create famine, that want to create all the negativity in the world. There are groups of people who are pushing for that and want the money from that. It's the same as the banking systems, where if you look at the money that they have, there's tons of drug money there. There's tons of woman trafficking and child trafficking money there. And you look at the global system, you find out that there is no way your hands do not get dirty when you are playing with billions of dollars. There's no way. And so what you find out is that at the top, everybody's dirty, everybody's involved, and everybody is complacent in some way, shape, or form, because they want to keep living, they want to keep building, and they want to keep pushing towards this. What I'm talking about is an esoteric conceptual idea here of pushing towards the negativity, while there's other people who are saying, no, dude, let's be hippies and be rainbow gathering. Let's go do Burning Man and use technology to beef us up into the next level. Let's transgender
higher consciousness.
Higher consciousness,
vibration,
transgender is cool, transhuman is cool, there is no gender in the future. All of these concepts, which today is the same thing as, go back to 1890 something or whatever it is, and light bulb. People don't want light bulb. People don't want electricity. We have a fight between Tesla and Edison, where Edison's electrocuting sheep and elephants just to prove that it's going to kill. Same thing, bro. We're dealing with the same thing.
Pretty theatrical, the dramatic.
It's all that we're dealing with is just the different players playing the roles for the idea of the Prince by Machiavelli to play out. I'm going to create the problem, I'm going to fix the problem, and then I'm going to be the king. We're not dealing with anything that has ever changed. We're still human beings that are monkeys. We are absolutely manipulated. Look at what happened with Charlie Kirk. Look at how many things now are, oh my God, look at the way the shirt popped and the thing, and it came off of his ear, and oh no, it was the guy off the side, and like the phone, and oh look,
the ends justify the means. The ends justify the means.
Baseball.
Oh, well, that was a little odd. You guys, I'm not sure where you.
The one that was odd for me. Listen, you want to get weird? The one that's odd for me are the two guys that jump over the table. I don't know if you've seen this as of recently. They both grab something, and then one of them passes it to the other guy, and the other guy bolts with it. It is the strangest 5 seconds after somebody gets shot that I've ever seen on camera in my entire life. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. And how about the role? How about the role of the FBI?
There's more. The second one that really trips me out, Jaffe. Sorry, the second one that trips me out is right after this moment. there's a guy who runs up and jumps on the chair. Mind you, this is a crime scene. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do this I mean, granted, it was the moment, but this is not what you do in the moment either. But this guy jumps and runs up to the chair and immediately goes for the camera and grabs the SD card and slaps it into his pocket. Now, mind you, if somebody has just gotten shot, the first two things I do not think about is one, run up to the person, grab things, throw it to somebody, and run. And two, I don't think to myself, hey, I need to grab the camera equipment information right now. I'm sorry,
Hey,
bro.
yeah. Big shout out here to Roger Hansen and DK Spiracy. So thank you to you two gentlemen for dropping by. Going to read off a few of the comments. They've been really going at it here, big
Love
time.
it. Let's go. Let's go.
Only Jews say there is no Palestine. Hang on, just while I unpack. Well,
That's not true, but I love you.
well, yeah, a lot of these phony, I think they're the so-called Christian Zionists. Like, there's a lot of talk of that being a major oxymoron, along with Judeo-Christian oxymoron. Like, hello, New Testament, this is new.
Well, there's a lot of Jews for Jesus. There's a lot of Jews for Jesus.
Well, that's good.
And there's a lot of passages. There's a lot of passages that have been going around lately that are, like for instance, Moses from Moses Jewelers in Times Square, or not Times Square, but in the Diamond District in New York on 47th or 46th, I think is what it is. Somebody comes up to him and says, "Oh, have you ever heard this quote? And do you think it's New Testament or Old Testament?" And they're like, "Oh, let me hear it." And it goes, "Well, I'm going to have a son, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this." And he listens to it, and he's like, "Wow, that sounds like New Testament." He's like, "Nope, got you." Ha! It's I love the gotcha moments.
The Old Testament?
It's Old Testament, yeah, sure. And so it's like, where's that from? And this is the thing with the thing that I've noticed a lot lately, and this is something that, goes across the board, which kind of drives me crazy, Jaffe. And this is not for you, it's not for Sonia, it's just my own thing. I'm not saying this about you at all, but this is my thing. For instance, transgender, gender in itself, the whole idea of sexuality and gender does not exist. My opinion here, gender is nothing more than a personality and choosing. If I can choose to be whatever I want, and there is no amount of list of how many genders there are, or blah 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 blah, and I can go on into an infinity on what I can be, bro, then I can be freaking Santa Claus, and you have to accept me as far as I'm gonna gain weight next week. Don't worry, and I'll get a beard, and I'll start making toys all year long, and then once a year, I'm just gonna go around and give toys to kids.
What of race or ethnicity? Same?
I can't go around painting myself black. What happened to the
where do you draw the line, though? I mean, have you ever taken a DNA test?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. This is now we're getting into the eugenics conceptual idea, the transhumanism idea that I'm talking about.
What did it come out as?
All about,
your
what
DNA,
this is pushing.
Your DNA test. What did it read?
Man, I think I'm what was it? It's part Italian. I wish I had it. I think I can still bring it up. And maybe I can share it with you. Where did I get it? I think it was 23andMe. I'm screwed.
Well, they've got all your data now too.
Or I think was it Ancestry? I don't remember what I did.
Ancestry.com.
I think it was Ancestry.com or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Let me.
But nonetheless. Yeah, I'm very much Spain, Morocco, and Italy. Italy because of my grandfather.
So are you Sephardic then? Ashkenazi?
I'm Sephardic.
Not Ashkenazi in the least.
Not at all, because I don't. None of it. My mother's family is full on. Like when I became Israeli and I had to go in and show them, I had to prove to them 5 generations back.
So you kind of like the way that the Nuremberg laws were in place with the Nazis.
Same thing.
That's why the Nazis they really supported the is this pro ethno national state in the Middle East for the Jews, because it was like, yeah, well, you're talking the same language as we are, and that this is
So
what they
I don't really
believe. They
think that
have the same
it was a
thing.
positive thing. You know,
Which one,
I
the
think that
Nazis or Israel?
the whole idea of Israel in the sense of the way that it was done, the way
I
that it was
see.
done.
You
And
should
again, I'll
do a
say the
book.
same thing,
Write a book.
and I'll say the same thing now for what's going on with Israel after the fact, way after the fact. There has been too much heaviness going on.
But not a genocide. Because
Listen,
pamphlets,
we can't
they
call
before they
it a
corralled
genocide.
them all into the one small area where they currently find themselves, like, shooting
Sure,
fish in a barrel, that they actually
sure.
there were pamphlets that were kind of fluttered down and gave them
Yeah,
said,
man,
don't
they've done
worry,
that.
we won't hurt
They've done
you,
the
just go here
fluttering
and we
of
won't hurt you.
pamphlets, not just once. They've done it many times,
And then,
right? So,
they've
hey, we're
also bombed them
coming here.
many times, a lot more than just the pamphlets.
I mean, that's
Schools,
but
hospitals,
here's the thing that
journalists.
Jaffe, here's the thing that kicks my ass, okay? Where are we right now with Coney? Where are we right now with Darfur? Where are we right now with Ukraine? Where are we right now with I could keep going with lists of absolute massive atrocities, numbers that triple anything that's going on in Gaza, and we're not talking about it. So the thing is, where's the money coming from, and why are we so pissed off? Bing. 1, 2. Where is the energy really going here? What is really being created? Look at the last video that just came out that's about to go viral as all, where you have 30. Hold on, let me finish this line. You have 30 different people who are all from media. 3 police officers, 1 Hispanic woman, Mexican, I believe, I don't know, with her daughter, young, crying, begging the ICE officer for help, and he says, adios, andate, leave, and she starts to, oh, please, and she goes to touch him, and he absolutely destroys this woman, throws her against a wall and pulls her to the floor. Mind you, absolutely videotaped in every angle. The press running around the corner to get the right angle and the right thing to see the guy's face and the thing. Bro, absolute built-in, made for press moment. Oh, well, we fired the guy. He's no longer part of ICE. Absolutely part of a leftist agenda somewhere. Somebody paid for that whole momentum to happen right there. So left has the ideology of the fight, gasoline to place onto, look at the way they're treating it. They're kicking out the country, blah, 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 all the stuff that's going on, right? All rhetoric, Jaffe, all of it, rhetoric. Every single piece of it. The guy with the red hats and the red hair. The guy who's absolutely poopity poops. All of it. Rhetoric. The whole thing is political theater. Jaffe, think about this for real. Let's get real big. Let's get macro to the whole thing here, bro. They're saying, oh, the AI bubble's about to bust. Fuck you, it's about to bust. We're still three times away from where we are supposed to be with what they want to do and what they want to create. Now, let me give you a kind of an analogy. If we're looking at the AI and it has 150 IQ today, and it doesn't, but I'm saying, let's give it an analogy. And it can code out anybody. It can do this, it can do that, it can all these things that it's great, which it's not really that great at. Now, if you ask AI to do one thing, it will chomp so much poo-poo and caca and make it amazing. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Which we've seen with Google DeepFold, which we've seen with DeepMind, which we've seen with DeepSeek, which we've seen with all of these things. When you get them to do one thing and only one thing, wow, they're amazing systems.
Have you heard of Eva? Eva?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of Eva? I saw it actually. They're hosting a space over on X just a couple of weeks ago. It was really kind of Eva. It was kind of evil. Is what it proved to be. So, but hey, bring your camera down a little bit if you could. We got about 20 minutes here left with Paul David Carpenter, returning guest friend of the show. We have different views and opinions regarding some sensitive hot button topics, but hey, isn't that what makes for good conversation? I think
So,
so.
so where were we
Well,
on the whole thing a second ago?
but hang on, Sonia. Let's poor Sonia's been sitting there. She's so sweet and polite.
She
Sonia,
is.
come on. Like
I've been having a blast. This is hilarious.
we got I
don't
love
really know
it.
much at all about
I love
it
it when
but
things get a
I love it.
little heated. The volume of the conversation kind of goes up a notch or two, a few decibels.
Yeah.
But
That's great.
Sonia, are you following the comments via because we are
Little bit.
multi-streaming across
I
a
can't
number of
see the
platforms.
comments. I don't know where they are.
Well, go to YouTube D Live. I just did pull them up. I don't know.
Bunch on D Live.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to see too many of the comments. They're not all positive.
Of course they are. I wouldn't
No.
expect them to
So,
be.
but talking about the Hegelian dialectic having deep spiritual roots, which I'm sure that goes back to the pre-Socratics, if not before, with the dialect intermingling versus the mutually exclusive dialectic, where you have the white within the black, black within the white, or not, where it's mutually exclusive as compared to the intermingling. If you look at the sign for technocracy, it's not black and white, which usually the Taoist, what the Do, they call it here in Korea, Do, as in.
Please forgive me. What am I supposed to look up again on YouTube?
Just bring your camera down a little. I don't know, man. It's like you were wanting to do something, I guess, along. Yeah, there you go. More centered, exactly. But technocracy, do you know about this at all, Paul? It's not black and white. They have, if you've seen this, the symbol for technocracy, it has its roots in Canada, of all places, and that's where Musk's grandfather came from, and he himself was essentially kind of he wasn't thrown out of the country, but he wasn't made to feel at home exactly because of his technocratic pursuits. And you really got to wonder where that funding came from in the first place. Follow the money, right, folks? Who the visionaries to the whole movement were. And now his grandson finds himself the heir to the whole movement, someone who did make a pilgrimage, as it were, back to the Canadian prairies when he was, I guess, a teenager, working on farms, getting his hands a little dirty in that sense. And it's great, manual labor or what have you, but also just getting to reconnect with his family as well. So, but the technocracy, no, it's red and white, and it's mutually exclusive. So you don't have any little red dot in the white or vice versa. It's red on half of the circle is red, the other half of the circle is white. That's it. And I think that's kind of in part maybe that might kind of dovetail or complement what you've brought up now a few times as far as these worldviews, these paradigms that you've hit on, talked about the kind of the big, the technoKRAKEN essentially, and the pursuit of world domination as compared to the more disengaged, that's kind of the more Taoist way of doing things basically, and looking at the world. It's like so that when I'm out of here, I'm gone, unless I need to come back again, as that's the bodhisattva sort of deal. But the fact is, I'd rather not be here, because it's life is difficult, and I'd rather not come back. Did you know, by the way, speaking of which,
talking about the bodhisattva thing, have you heard about the alien conceptual idea where they've interloped our souls and they make us come back because they eat our souls? They eat our lives.
We're containers, our life essence, huh? Something like that. Is that right?
Some weird stuff like that. And it's very much, going to the Bhagavad Gita like you were doing, it very much kind of feeds into that kind of ideology, which is very close, obviously, from Sumeria and the Emerald Tablets around that time, and coming from it. So
that is fascinating. It makes me think of Thetans. Remember Thetans?
The other thing.
Mind
of course, that's another. But that's weird. That came from a poker game. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, how Hubbard could make a lot of money. It's like start a religion.
So it comes from a poker game. It was him, Isaac Asimov, and
Heinlein.
And one other writer at the time.
Heinlein?
It might have been. No. It might have been. I don't know, but I know there were three famous scientific writers that were all sitting around. They were playing poker together. One of them being L. Ron Hubbard had not made it to be at the fame of the other two. And he made a bet with them at the table that he could make a religion that was based on science fiction, and they didn't believe him. And then a couple years later, Dianetics, and then the beginning of Scientology.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah, and he's very, very much. He drew upon Buddhism, Crowley, and a whole host of other philosophies. Just
a lot
an
of NLP,
aggregate, just
a
an
lot of hypnosis.
Yeah,
Yep.
just so much.
But I mean, that's also. But look at what it's turned into. I mean, it's an absolute crazy.
Well,
Zeno
had the galactic warlord Zeno.
Mm-hmm.
That's the demiurge, I guess, is it? Or yeah, sure, because Zeno. Did they ultimately worship Zeno, or he's the bad guy, basically?
I thought Zeno was the one that had the Thetans.
And he dropped all into volcanoes.
The big fight. It was a big fight in space. Right.
Right.
Sorry, let me turn this off.
And do you know? Have you noticed how Thetan sounds so close to Satan?
Mm-hmm.
But so
the whole thing's very. Yeah. Go ahead.
But just for me, ultimately so much of this comes down to time and space and the Maya illusion, the veil of illusion, the Maya matrix, similar kind of the MA, that MA root word for like mother and make. And in Korea, they say mandalda, which means make. And then you have the mandala, of course.
Mm-hmm,
But the time and space, and look at with the Tibetan, the Vajrayana Buddhists, the way they use the dorje and different other implements as well, that to kind of cut through this veil of illusion that we're born into. It's I guess is one way of looking at it. And then when we pass away, it's like we drop the body. That's one thing that the Scientologists got right. Is like we drop the body, and then it's like our soul. Have you studied? I don't know if you looked into the NDE testimonies that so many people have offered on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. There was a great book, and I fell into it. There was the guy, and I actually spoke to him on the phone at one time. He made a really good book. It was all about near-death experiences during hypnosis, and talking about so it's very heavy stuff.
Past life recollection. Kind of deal, right?
Yes, sir. And then that same guy started doing future. And it's very crazy. Look this up on the internet. I've also done some stuff on this. It should be on my blog. I don't remember how long ago it's been that I did a video about this, but I've talked about this in particular. Right. This guy in particular started, so that he gets to a point where when he wakes them up, he says that at a certain point, they start acting like they're kind of like robots, and they're like texting and typing. They're like weird. And it became like, and it was over and over and over and over again that he did this to people, where he wasn't regressing them. He was putting them into the future. And this is the response that he would get from them, that we become a Borg one style thing. Very intense. So going down that rabbit hole, I think that, we are scientists in the future that put ourselves into a machine that puts us into this thing that reminds us of what it's like to be human.
Wait a minute. Scientists, what do you mean? Now we are scientists?
We are scientists from the future. I'll say it again. We are scientists from the future, and we have chosen to place ourselves into a machine to remember what it's like to have emotions and feelings and be human again. As I was talking about, so that's my latest book. I talk about the crossroads between technology and biology. And in the book, I go along with saying that I believe that technology is what creates biology. So therefore, the knowledge, the information, the idea of God, if you will, is the creator of the biology, which then has to go through its evolutionary processes to reach the level of technology, which is what I believe. Which is what I believe we're actually getting to, right? Because if you look at us, if you look at the biology of everything that is, it comes down to ones and zeros at the end of things. Yes. Like even all the scientists are coming down to this answer and this, that, and the other, right?
Right.
Oh, and I want to do a big shout out because I just got on Facebook and saw this person on there, Zane Ivey.
Yes.
Huge shout out to Zane for keeping up with this whole conversation and all the stuff. That they're putting in here.
Yeah.
There's some things I want to get back at with some comments.
He'll call you out. He'll
I
call you
totally
out on
know.
the whole like the Sanhedrin sort of business.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the whole
so,
thing.
yeah.
The whole thing about the non-Jews.
Well, it is a very us.
in
It can be.
Judaism.
It can be a very us and them sort of mentality, right?
100% it is. 100%
Yeah.
it is. 100% it is. I'm not
Yet,
going to say that.
so many of
isn't
these
a
same people are
us
the
and
ones who
them.
promote multiculturalism.
100. But
What the
and
fuck?
this is that reminds me of what I wanted to talk about earlier that drives me absolutely crazy. It's this absolute juxtaposed position thought process thing that's going on non-stop, just across the board. So like the transgender thing, to me, gender is not real, dude. It's nothing more than, if I can choose to be whatever I want, then there is no gender. Then that's just personality once again.
Yeah.
And so that's a revolving circle that you just can't finish
And
that.
self-identify as a tree, a Christmas tree.
What is that? But okay, fine. If you want to self-identify as a tree, do it.
Ridiculous.
I have no issue with it. Yeah. If you want to be gay, be gay. If you want to be transgender, be transgender.
Well, that's sexual, though.
What you do in your fucking bedroom, what you do with another human being, even if there's 10 people in the fucking room, but everybody's cool with it. I don't give a fuck what you do.
You know,
it doesn't matter to me.
You know what we give a fuck about is the number of F-bombs that people guess. You might have forgot. It's okay.
I forgot. Totally forgot.
Hey, it's a pirate ship. It's like, so we get the one complimentary F-bomb.
Drink too much rum.
Yeah. The N-word is okay, and you can have all the N drop all the N-word bombs as you want, as long as it's Nagger is the one that usually works out the best.
I was just gonna say, are we about to do the Simpsons episode?
That was South Park. That was South Park.
It was. You're right, South Park. That's right.
Maybe Simpsons. I don't know. Maybe they had their own version of it.
Can we talk about the Simpsons and all of that's a great conspiracy rabbit hole.
We got 10 more minutes, and I might actually boot this up for one final. I don't know if we call it we should do it. We should do it offline. Baby. We should go offline.
Doing 3 hours.
No.
Go all the way.
No. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go offline. We're gonna end the OBS, and we're gonna have an exclusive behind-the-scenes rogues gallery that we haven't done in a hell of a long time with any of our guests. But if you're up for it, we can do it and then put it out as Patreon content. So if people are really
100, let's do it.
Yeah.
100, let's do it. Yeah, would love to give you some Patreon content.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes.
Yeah, Sonia, if you don't mind, sorry.
Oh, that's great. This is wonderful.
Uh-huh. She's out of Phoenix, by the way. She's well, tell him and our listeners that are not familiar.
You're in Phoenix, Arizona.
Story.
Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Yep, Phoenix, Arizona.
Lives right next to Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Runs into him every day when they're out walking their dogs.
No.
No, you've gotten to hang out with them though. You got to hang out with them.
And then Sonia says to Alice, "Why do you have your wife on a leash?" Woof woof.
He's like, well.
Oh my God, Jeffy's getting crazy.
They've been married for so
really
long.
Crazy that you mentioned that you're with Alice Cooper in any way, shape, or form.
Phoenix.
Alice Cooper. Weirdly, in a very weird twist of life in itself, has a 2 degrees of separation away from me from a girlfriend that I had when I was like 20-something years old in Miami, who ended up becoming the lead guitarist for CeeLo Green. She ends up moving back to Florida, or to Vegas, actually, I believe, and married a beautiful husband that she has now, and they've had together, and they now own a supper club in Florida. Now, they just did an album that won a Grammy with Alice Cooper.
What's her name?
So, what's that?
What's her name?
Her name, why you're gonna make me do that one.
Former girlfriend. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No wonder she dumped
Sharon
you.
Aguilar,
it's like, hi, hey, it's great to be out with you tonight.
Sharon Aguilar. I would never forget her name.
How long were you together with Sharon?
We were together, I don't know, maybe about 9 months, something like that.
Was she good in bed?
Stop it. Stop it.
It's a pirate ship,
Sharon,
man. Come on.
Sharon was an amazing, listen to me. Hold on. Wait a second, sir. I was 20-something years old. I was in a rock band at the time.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
I was doing,
Good singer.
you know, we
Very
had
good
just
singer.
won the Battle of the Bands at the Hard Rock in Miami. We had
Oh,
just gotten a tour of all the hard rocks of Florida. And we, you know, and I'm this, you know, I felt like this big rock and roll guy, bro.
yeah. Right on,
You
man.
know, and I had
Good.
this beautiful, beautiful girl
Yeah.
who played guitar, and she was super shy. I remember at the time.
Mm.
And she still, I believe, is quite shy. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
I think she is. But she's amazing. She's an amazing relationship. She's absolutely loved by this gentleman. I'm super stoked for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that that what happened for her, and I'm looking now to find. Oh, look at that! So funny that I mentioned that, and like a second ago, it just posted. Um, it's not about the awards. We are 2025 Grammy nominees. They're nominees.
Looking to find a new partner.
But nonetheless, yeah, they just did this album
Sonya.
with him, and got to be involved with it, and very cool, very
That's-
proud of her.
Yeah, and Alice
She kept,
Cooper, they've worked together on a project as well, is what he told us.
this is the, well, it was this song, it was this recording that they did with him that ended up getting them the Grammy nomination,
Oh,
from what
great.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I believe he was either the producer on
Mhm.
it. I'm looking for a photo now
Oh,
to
yeah.
find exactly the whole entire story for you. It wasn't too long ago.
Is he a Satanist, Alice Cooper?
You know, I don't know. Maybe he was, and he came
No.
around.
I'll tell you what he is. He's a Christian.
Yeah, he's
So
a Christian.
I'll tell you what she is, a hardcore
Based in the
Christian.
public.
Well, so that's
Uh,
interesting, hey, the way they rock out like that, and then they turn out to be Christian. I think it's so cool. That's pretty funny.
I think what happens is the story of life in and of itself for each person. We all go down different paths. We all have different things. Some of us take in those 7 deadly sins and hold on to them.
Oh yeah, sure.
And hold on to them, not as a taste of the fruits of the vine of the world, but instead as lifestyle choices, and they destroy their own lives that way, in my opinion. Unfortunate as whatever happens in their life. I have a friend of mine, for instance, who got into the porn industry under the most like crazy experience, and now that person has been in the porn industry for 20 plus years.
Guy or girl?
A guy.
And so he's probably done gay porn then too, is what I'm
sure he has. Yeah, I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has. But the thing is, you know, he might be like, well, I never thought I would ever do that, but then I did it, and I actually, you know, I'm not that I'm gay, but I totally didn't not enjoy it.
AKA Charlie Sheen managed to pick up a bit of a paycheck on the tail end of things, no pun intended, or
but
yeah.
You know, or maybe that's how he came back.
You got 5 minutes here, man.
Listen, I've always had the thing in my mind, and this is the truism. I've always had that I believe that if you don't, or if you're not willing to be either on your knees or bent over as a man, then you're not going to become super famous, period.
In the entertainment industry.
Period.
So you're saying that anyone and everyone that's ever managed to...
Period.
You're talking about including like Alice Cooper, Christian Alice Cooper?
I think all of them. I think think of Alice Cooper.
He was an alcoholic, right? He was a real party animal.
Listen, think of all the people. Look at Justin not Justin Timberlake,
Bieber,
but this kid,
Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Right.
I feel so bad for the kid in his life in the end, right?
He was on with the Diddy trial.
Who wants to be Who wants to be a talented 15-year-old kid who gets molested by an African American 30-year-old who just wants to have ownership over your soul?
Well, yeah. Well, you've heard of the Boule.
Who wants to live that life?
Have you heard of the? Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing is that's no wonder he turned as well to Christianity. It's like a refuge, right, from the storm.
I mean, it really is. I think that religion in some places, when finding the right style of people, I don't care what version of the religion you want. If you want to go Messianic, if you want to go Ashkenazi, if you want to go Sephardic, if you want to go
Those two are not. Those last two are
Orthodox.
not. Those they're not religions, bro.
No, they're not religions. They're style of the religion.
Wow.
It's like saying, like, so for instance, they're both the same religions because they follow the exact same laws. The same oral and written tradition is the same. Nothing changed.
Have you heard of the Boule Society?
Hold on. The only thing that's changed, yes, the only thing that's changed is the difference between where the people were raised and where they ended up after being dispersed from Israel after after the Romans. So that's what you're dealing with in that occasion. And so what I like to always portray it as pot. So I like to say Jews are like indica or sativa. So the indica of the world comes from very heavy mountainous regions. It's the colder, it's the more denser bud, it's the heavier, more potent bud.
In the couch.
And it's and you hit the couch with your indica, right? And so that to me is the Ashkenazi. They're the ones who wear black and white. They're the ones that have the strinal hats. They have the boing boings, as I like to call them. You know, and so you have all these things that make them very tough people, being in the cold, wearing these outfits, which is why they made these outfits in the first place. Another reason is that they say that they made the black and white based on the losing of the Second Temple of Israel as a way of placing themselves into a prison-style outfit. The black and white style outfit is, some people say this, is a way of imprisoning themselves and placing themselves to be in this traditional new style clothing, which comes from that period of time. So now if you go and look at Sephardic people, quite the opposite. All beautiful colored clothings. The hats that they wear, or the yarmulkes that they wear, are different in the sense of they're not the small little tiny caps that you see. You see a totally different style of
Spain
dress.
and the Netherlands, right? That's a Sephardic influence, a lot of it.
No, I would give it more Morocco. I would say Spain. I would say, yeah, like that whole tip of Africa.
Yeah.
And coming into yeah, sure.
We're gonna lose the feed here, bro. But hang on, I'll be back in touch with you guys for the after show. Okay,
no
so
doubt.
Don't worry about it. We got about 20 seconds left here. Looks like if Teams plays along nicely.
Well, I can't wait to hear what Sonia's laughing about. She's full on in. Did I say something incorrect? Did I get something wrong?
We always say shit that's incorrect.
Just Chappie's face. It's Chappie's face is cracking me up.
My face?
The expressions you're making.
Me?
He's not.
He's got a fun. He's way more expressive with his facial,
which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're a good team. We're a good team.
You should have seen. It's so funny when I was on Chris Cuomo. There was this moment where he says something. He's like, "Oh, well, you're not in the political world," and I'm like, "It's like so hilarious." I'm like, "Oh man, what the fuck are you talking about?"
$500? You got paid $500 to put that AI.
$150 each time. $150 each time. With the caveat that if it's sold, I was supposed to make $1,500 to $3,000.
Did you get that money?
I never saw it because he never sold it, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. But he got a house.
So this is going back to the story, Jaffe. Going back to the story, when the guy that introduced me to him, Colin, who's now in prison.
And there goes Teams. So we've lost the connection again. It's a funny deal the way they got things set up, but that's the way we got to roll down here in Skullport Harbor sometimes when we're not using Jitsi, or wasn't even sure if we'd have to connect with Paul via Facebook this week, actually, just because we were having such a tough time, waiting and actually hearing back from him via Teams, formerly known as Skype. So hopefully everybody got a little something out of the conversation this week. Definitely covered a lot of ground, and highly recommend if you enjoyed or valued in any way the conversation, the live stream with Paul and Sonia in the co-host chair, to check out the archived shows that we put together in the past, 3 hours plus with Paul, that we've linked in the show description end of things. So it gives you a bit more of a extensive backstory to the Heydrich situation and a lot more of an insight into Hollywood. He's really been around. He's met a lot of people. He studied actually under Harry Anderson. For those of you out there who remember Night Court, the judge, I think he was Judge Harry, Night Court. So as a magician and illusionist, street busking, street hustler to some extent as well. So it's small wonder he's written the number of books that he has to this point, and I'm really actually looking forward to checking out what he does have available, of course, because so many different topics that he dares to broach and breach, not least of which, of course, is the ever looming question of whether or not Hitler was right. What he means by that exactly, I have no idea, but I guess that's why you've got to read the book. So maybe in the end, he'll conclude that he was not. But we're off to the Rogues Gallery after show here that will be available to our Patreon supporters. So do drop by. You can connect with us there for free, completely free to begin with. And it's a per item basis. So let us know if you're wanting to get your hands on what we have to offer. A lot of other exclusive behind the scenes bootleg content that we've managed to archive here over the years as well. So if there's anything in particular you're looking for, let us know. We'd be happy to do what we can here to help you out. So we'll be back, of course, with the news this upcoming Tuesday night, as always, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 out on the East Coast. That's 12 p.m. noon here via the Tokyo and Seoul time zones. Speaking of Tokyo, how many of you have heard about the UFOs that appeared en masse, really, in the wake, even in the lead up, if I'm not mistaken, to March 11th, was it 2011? So 3/11/11. I have to check that date once again. But numerous widespread UFO reports, sightings in the lead up to and at the time of the disaster itself. So often finding, for whatever reason, this interest that whether they're from other planets or interdimensionals, something real funky's going on. There's no doubt about that. There's this keen interest that they take in man's nuclear ambitions and activities. So Pyro One Radio at protonmail.com. Do take note of that, folks. It's how you can help us out via PayPal. Also, if you have any guest suggestions or show ideas you'd like to bounce off of us, that's the way to do things. Half of everything we generate here as far as public support and donations goes directly back to the grassroots. So, don't be a cheapskate. Belly up to the bar. If you've been tuning in, listening to any amount of our content, whatever you feel is appropriate, it takes a lot of work, effort, and time It costs a lot more than what people realize with the equipment and upkeep to everything here. A little more sophisticated and taxing than what some cynics might say. So half of everything goes directly back to the grassroots, though. Hashtag WWRHD, what would Robin Hood do? Check out our swag as well, too. The pirate goods, items, t-shirts, coffee mugs, and the like we have available via galacticfire.com, Teespring, TeePublic. Really good stuff. Always appreciate any support you can show in that regard or capacity. Be sure to like, comment, share, hit the notification, subscription buttons, and password on to friends, family, and co-workers. Hope everyone has a really great weekend. Take it easy out there, but be sure to, whatever the case, make the most of your time, obviously. Really seize the moment. Carpe diem. Until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host, as always, Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder, reminding you, on behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and everyone else down here in Skullport Harbor, keep your ear to the ground and eyes to the sky. Tally-ho!
Aye now, there we be. Having carefully looked over each of our navigation panel instruments,
checking every level, switch, dial, cable, knob, and pulley, by all accounts and indications, we indeed see it's time, once again, to drop anchor inside Mystic Bay.
draw an end to yet another week of World Pirate Radio Live.
Remember,
If you're looking for a little more animated online action,
keep in mind we've likely got yet another great free-flowing Rogues Gallery after show
coming up for the next hour in one of our more premium exclusive and remote digital underground online pirate hideaways. Also, if you yourself have a new,
novel, intriguing, or otherwise underreported idea, unique individual, or pressing item in mind, be sure to either drop us a line directly over on Wprpn.com or fire us a quick email
via Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com.
We're always open to exploring fresh creative suggestions, intriguing guest ideas, cutting-edge discussion topics, and captivating themes.
Remember, WPRPN.com member site subdomain links are also always available.
Great for artists, musicians, podcasters, bloggers, social media personalities,
Or pretty much just any old landlubber
looking to boost their online visibility, presence, and reach.
Basic personal profile accounts can be launched for just $60 per year.
Staking your claim now helps not only strengthen you and the network, we're also looking out for the little guy. That's right, folks. As much as half of all WPRPN's profits are redirected right back into the hands of the people who really need it most. Community charity. After all, we are the Robin Hood.
You can further embark on your own personal pirate journey by either liking, sharing,
Commenting on, subscribing to, or just following us via virtually any mainstream social media platform, including Twitter, Facebook,
Gab,
or Minds.com. So don't forget to become engaged. Until we meet again out on the high digital seas, I'm your host as always, the ship's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Tally-ho.